Hey everyone, Jordan here. Today we're going to be taking a look at one of NZXT'S new motherboards. They now have another 3 in their lineup. We have 2 for Z890 or Intel Core Ultra Series 2, and then 1 for AM5, which is X870E. We'll have videos on those coming up, but I thought I'd do the more affordable one first, as this one's going to come in at $299, where opposed to the other ones that are coming in at $499. So this is the N7 Z890. It's going to be available in 2 colours, black and white. I'll put the white one on screen so you can see how that looks. Now these boards are continuing to be made by ASRock, which, minus the few that they've had a few issues with recently for AM5, have been doing very good for their products. They've certainly come a long way over the years. So inside the accessory box we've got a couple of M.2 screws. We've also got a couple of adapter cables. These are the new 8 pins on the end from NZXT for their recent frame fans and also their Krakens. And then they split off to a 4-pin PWM. Then you've also got the standard NZXT connector, so you can easily adapt that if you've got some of the older NZXT products. Nice that they included those. We've got our Wi-Fi antennas. This board does have Wi-Fi 6E, no Wi-Fi 7 support though, unfortunately. Then underneath at the bottom, we've got a couple of extra bits. So a few SATA cables. There's 2 packs of 2, one of which is right angled in each. Then we've got a big leaflet that folds out with all of the information that you need to know. So here is the board. I really love the rounded edges that they've gone for in this model, opposed to the sharper edges we saw on the previous gen. I really love the aluminium or aluminum that goes along the VRM and across all of those chokes. Got a pretty funky design for the M.2 heatsink there as well. This board's got a 16+1+2 power stage and also a 6-layer PCB for those that want to know about that. On the back, very standard back to this one. No back plate or anything there. So let's have a look around the board. On the top left we have our 2 8-pin EPS connectors. They look like solid pins as well. We've got 2 4-pin headers, then our first of the 8-pin NZXT proprietary connector that I mentioned. So you can connect some of their new peripherals straight into the board if you'd like to. Then we've got one of NZXT's RGB connectors on the right hand side. Just below, quite tricky to see, but we have got some boot up LEDs, so that should show you the post sequence and any issues that might pop up. On the right hand side we've got our 24-pin motherboard power and then our USB Type-C connector. There's going to be USB 3.2 Gen 2x2. Going down on the right angle we've got our USB 3 headers. We've got 2 of those, so you can do 4 USB 3s on those. They're USB 3.2 Gen 1. We've then got 4 SATA 6GB ports. On the bottom right of the board we've got our front panel connectors. We've also got a power and a reset button. Love to see these on the boards. We've then got another NZXT 8-pin connector and then 3 more 4-pin headers, so you've got a total of 5 4-pin headers on this board, but don't forget you can use the breakout adapter, so you've got a total of 7 if you use those. We've then got 2 USB 2 headers, very handy for hubs and things like that. We've then got 2 standard 5V 3-pin addressable RGB connectors. Then on the bottom left are front panel audio. This board's using a Realtek ALC 1220 codec. Highly recommend a sound card though if you're into your audio, especially as then you can swap up 2 machines if you upgrade down the line. So going up to the socket, support for our Core Ultra Series 2 processors, 1851. This new generation of motherboard are using the new ILM sockets, which are a revised version. There's more even pressure across the IHS when you install your CPU. And then that in turn will give you better contact with whatever thermal solution you put on top. Then on the right hand side we have got our DDR5 slots. Now at the time of filming I don't have a maximum capacity that this board can support. I'd say it'll probably be 192, possibly 256 gigabytes, and then up to 8800 megatransfers per second, and it can do XMP3. You may see those numbers adjust though with future BIOS updates. So going down to our DIMM slots, our first slot here we have that big old chunky heatsink, then the screw to undo that. So taking that screw out, really quite a dense piece. I think it's one of the thickest I've seen on a motherboard so far. Then underneath we have support for up to a 80mm Gen 5 drive. The thermal pad on the back. Don't forget to remove the tape when you install your drive there. Then our additional slots are underneath the panels. These just pop off. So the top one here, there we have support for another 80mm Gen 4 drive. Then in the bottom one, taking that off. And there we have support for another 2 80mm drives, both Gen 4 running from the chipset. I really like this configuration. ASRock do this a lot with their other boards. When we see manufacturers that will put 2 Gen 5 slots, we often see that the PCI slot drops down to X8 when you populate more than one. So I think this is a really nice balance and what most people will be using. I'm not a fan of the plastic covers. I'd really like to see these to be metal, and then you could also have a thermal pad. The plastic's just going to keep all the heat in and the drive's just going to cook. So highly recommend if you're going to use a fast and hot drive to keep that cover off. Last but not least, onto the rear I/O. At the top we've got a clear CMOS and also BIOS flash buttons, very handy to have. We've also got our Wi-Fi antennas for our Wi-Fi 6E. This also has Bluetooth 5.4. We've then got an HDMI port, can be very handy to do some troubleshooting with. Our USB type A ports, we've got 7 here. A little bit weird how they've done it though. The light blue ones aren't all the same. So we've got 2 10 gigabits per second, then there's 1 5. And on the stack on the right hand side here, we've got 2 5 gigabits and then 2 10 gigabits. Our first 2 USB-C ports, these are going to be Thunderbolt 4, so 40 gigabits per second, really quick ports there. And we've also got another 20 gigabit type C below that as well. Then we've also got our 2.5 gig LAN, and then at the bottom our microphone in, line out, and finally our SP diff. So that was a look at the N7 Z890, the first of our 3 new motherboards from NZXT. Let me know your thoughts down in the comments box below. Like I said, I thought I'd do this one first because it does offer a lot for the money. The Thunderbolt 4 is very nice to have, and also the storage configuration, I really like the way ASRock do things with that. I think 1 Gen 5 slot's going to be enough for most people, and especially because then you won't have your PCI slot drop down to X8 the second you put another drive in the slot that's below that. So I'll leave links for this board in the description box below if you want to pick one up. I'll also have builds coming out very soon with the new cases and these boards together as well, so if you want to see all things together. Something else to get subscribed and ding the bell for there. Also, any other things you'd like to know, of course, that I haven't covered, please leave a comment and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. Thank you all for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. Thank you to NZXT for sending this out for me to look at, and I'll see you all in the next one.